What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Mark Knopfler. Yes, indeed, Mark Knopfler Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from JFK, and this is actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of May for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, JFK. Hope you enjoy the show, man. JFK wanted to see me react to this. It is Mark Knopfler with a song entitled What It Is. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, yeah, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's see, this was posted by Mark Knopfler, no surprise there. And the video has 2.6 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Mark Knopfler, What It Is, Parkinson, 2209. Okay, so September 22nd, 2000. That'd be my guess. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Spilling out, the staggering in the square. His legs and lasses falling about in the crackling in the air. Down around the dungeon doors, the shelters in the queue. Everybody's looking for somebody's arms to fall into. It's what it is now. Yeah, far-stalking waves and monuments, taverns of warm town. People curse their government and shovel hard fruit down. Lights are out in City Hall, the castle and the keep. The moon shines down upon it all, the legless and the sleeping. Cold on the toll gate, with the wagons creeping through. Cold on the toll gate, God knows what to do with you. It's what it is. It's what it is now. Oh yeah, the garrison sleeps in the citadel with a ghost in the ancient stone. High on the parapet, a Scottish piper stands alone. And high on the wind, the Highland drums begin to roll. Something from the past just comes and stares into my soul. It's cold on the toll gate with a Caledonian blue. Cold on the toll gate, God knows what I can do with you. It's what it is. It's what it is now. It's what it is.
Sounds like we have a guitar solo. Let me back up. I don't have to pause in the middle of it. We'll just pick it up there. Okay. It's pleasing to the ear. Everything makes sense. It sounds good. I like the chords that were selected. Primarily what key we're in. I believe it's F sharp. Yeah, it's F sharp. Okay. So F sharp to the D to the E to the F sharp, back to the D to the E to the F sharp. So minor 6, minor 7, back to root. Sounds good. And then from there, if I'm not mistaken, the chorus goes to A major, to the D major, A major, D major. I like that. The natural major of F sharp would be the A, so that makes sense. And then resolving back down to the F sharp again. Sounds good. It's very pleasing to the ear. It all makes sense. Everything's lining up without question. Mark's vocal style definitely lends itself very well to this style of song. The pacing on the song feels good. It doesn't feel slow. It doesn't feel like it's sluggish. It doesn't feel like it's dragging. It's got a very subtle upbeat approach to it, which I really dig. I made this comparison before to Dire Straits, which I know Mark's the lead singer of. They didn't really know how to walk that fine line between having like it's a rock song with a little bit of a country feel. You know, you could very easily just change the voicings, just change the instrumentation ever so slightly, and you'll have yourself a country song, you know, very easily. And I don't know how he does it, man. I really don't, but he's always had that approach when it comes to his songwriting. I absolutely appreciate it because it opens up the door for a lot of opportunities for covers. You know, who could say that a country artist could take one of his songs and cover it and make it work almost effortlessly? It's not a stretch at all. It's not going to take a whole lot of rearranging. It's not going to take a whole lot of shifting and moving pieces and, you know, putting things over here and moving this part over here. You could take the song seriously. Instead of electric guitars, acoustic guitars, you know, so simply. You know, add some harmonies in there and you've got yourself a country song easily. But in this here, it's clearly a rock song with a little bit of a country influence. I love it. I love the fact that he's able to do that, man. It is a fine line to walk, let me tell you. And you won't hear too many artists do it. There are very few artists who can walk that line as well as he does. So all the credit in the world to him for that. Anyway, let's keep going here. See if we're right up off this guitar solo. We're going to pass it off to the violin player. Nope. Then we're going to go back to vocals. Yep. Okay. Get down. Good dynamic.
Wee Willie Winky with the candlestick, still writing songs in the radio house on Charlotte Street. Take a walking stick from my hotel. The ghost of Dirty Dick is still in search of another man's wife.
Wow, we're really bringing it down. Playing off each other. I like that. start growing a little. Yeah. Right back into it. Yep. Yes, indeed. Well, there we go. That just happened. Yes, it did. All right. Not a lot to talk about, honestly. Not a whole lot. This is gonna be pretty cut and dry. I have a couple questions that hopefully fans of Mark Knopfler will be able to answer for me in the comments. So we'll get to those questions toward the end of the review. Let me get my thoughts together. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. And I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Mark Knopfler with What It Is. This was a request from JFK. And this was actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of May for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, JFK. Hope you enjoyed the show. Like I said, there really isn't a lot to talk about that I didn't talk about during the course of the reaction, so we may have a short review here. I do have a couple of questions that I do want to ask at the end, so hopefully fans of Mark Knopfler can let me know and give me some answers to these questions. Let's start off with the score and we'll go from there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.7. Yep, 7.7. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.7. What does that mean? Well, a 7.7 would translate to a really good skill rating, so overall, I think this was a really good presentation. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. So there you go, a 7.7, really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars and a B+ letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. The song is really good. I absolutely dug what the song did, how the song moved, the chordal progression made perfect sense. I love the fact that we were primarily based in that F sharp minor, but when we went up to the chorus, we would transition to the natural major and go up to the A major, which I felt was very appropriate. Not every band does that. Not every artist does that. Some like to, play around with fourths and fifths, and that's perfectly fine. But I like the fact that he made that very natural transition from F sharp minor to A major. I think that was very, very smart of him. The melodic lines that they came up with in the instrumentation to carry along, or the counter melodic lines, because the melodic line was really covered more by his vocals than any other instrument, other than his guitar. But the other instrumentation, like for example the violin, having that counter melodic line was really nice to have in there, kind of helping to add some more depth to the song. The song sounded full. The song never really sounded hollow unless they intentionally made it sound hollow. Like after the solo section, everybody came down, and we didn't just come down. We came down from like a 7, on a volume scale, 6 or 7. We brought it down to like a 3, and then from a 3 we went down to a 2, and then from a 2 we went down to 1, and then we just brushed the surface of 0, just brushed it, and then we started to grow back up again, back up again, back up again, back up again to where we originally were with that 6 or 7. I liked that. Great dynamic usage in that section on that third verse. I thought that was very smart. Definitely, again, just adding another layer of depth to the song. His vocal style, very appropriate for the style of song. I talked at length already about how he's able to walk that line between, it's definitely a rock song, but there's definitely some country twang in there without question. And he's able to walk that line, but without falling to the other side. It's clearly a rock song, but how easy would it be to turn this song into a country song? Very easy to do. And he's able to do that consistently, which you have to know how to walk that line and feel that line to be able to walk it. So all the credit in the world to him as a songwriter. And I've always given him that credit. I've never said his songs were bad. Never. There's not a single song that I've heard from him or from Dire Straits for that matter that I would ever say is a bad song. Never would I ever say that. Let's see. The live performance of, I'm being honest, it was kind of a wash. It didn't help. It didn't hurt. Doing it in front of television studio audiences is always kind of rough. There are guidelines, and every studio, every television production studio is going to have their guidelines, and they're always going to be a little different. Some will say, some television studios will say, go ahead and interact with the crowd. Other studios will say, no, do not even acknowledge the crowd. Pretend like the crowd isn't there. Remember, this is television. You're supposed to be playing to the cameras. Play to the cameras. Don't listen to the audience. They're just there. And I've never understood that, because the audience is part of the show. The audience is in there, in studio, as live participants. Why wouldn't you play to the crowd? It doesn't make any sense to me why a television production studio would tell you. And it's in the contract that you sign. You acknowledge that you will not interact with the crowd, acknowledge the crowd, bow to the crowd, wave to the crowd, etc., etc., etc. And I've never understood that. Most TV studios won't. Most studios actually encourage you to at least acknowledge the crowd, talk to the crowd, wave to the crowd, something. But sometimes they don't. Sometimes they tell you specifically not to. It's weird. So the live show's kind of a wash on this one. I mean, there was no crowd interaction, obviously. I think that might have been the case. There might have been a specific reason for that. Not a lot of crowd, not a lot of stage energy either. I mean, on these little platforms, there's not really a whole lot you can do. And again, they might be told, don't run around the stage. Don't do this. Don't do that. Do not ask me the reasonings. Do not ask me the mentality of these people. I cannot explain it. But, television production studios, they have their rules and you have to follow them. Otherwise, you've signed that contract, you'll be in breach. So don't do it. But I mean, there were some things that were happening there. I did see a little bit of stage interaction. I saw a little bit between Mark and the violin player. I saw the little interaction there. I saw a little interaction between the two guitar players, the two acoustic guitar players too. So that got a check. It's a wash overall. So it didn't hurt the score. It didn't help the score. It was just kind of a non-factor, if I'm being honest. So that 7.7 is really for the song more than anything else. It was a very enjoyable, very pleasing to the ear, easy to listen to song. Having said that, will I ever put this on playlist? No, absolutely not. Just not my bag. It's not my thing. But at the same time, there's no denying it is a really good song. And that's why I'm giving it the 7.7. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So before we wrap things up, let me close with the questions. Two questions in particular. Number one, this song, what it is this a Mark Knopfler song? Is this a song that was written for his solo project? Or is this a Dire Straits song that he took and performed solo? If you guys could let me know in the comments, I would really appreciate it. I don't have an answer. I can't even venture a guess which one it is. The second question I have is more on a technical, on a guitar playing question. Does he always finger pick? Because from what I remember, I've always seen him do that finger picking style. I don't ever recall him playing with a pick. Does he? Does he ever play with a pick on any of the songs, whether it be his solo career or with Dire Straits? I would like to know, because every single time I've seen him play, he's got that finger picking style. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy that finger picking style. It works really well for him. But I'm really curious to know if he ever plays with picks. If he doesn't, that's totally fine. It makes no difference to me whatsoever whether he does or not, other than the fact of just pure personal curiosity. So y'all can let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. Now let's wrap everything up with a nice shiny bow. What do you say? We got a 7.7, which is a really good skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and a B+ letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then, by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.